Well, hello.
Oh, Richard,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good. That's good. Um, right now just give me 1 second. Reading? Okay, good. Okay, good. That's all right. Yes. How's it going? How's it going?
Fine, thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, somebody reached out to me. She's coming from Ottawa. She's coming to interview me for a research project, and she's going to pay me.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to do that on Friday.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes,
I
she's going to
actually
read.
just I just got
Okay,
a
go ahead.
call today as well from a speaking thing that I did the other day, and I just did it, just to do it. And then they
Okay.
called me today saying that they want to pay me, so they want to send me a payment. I said, okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good. That's nice.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations. And
Yeah.
that's what the map book does, it brings that energy, that kind of vibration, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's a university professor. So she asked me, where can we do it? Because she lives in Ottawa. I said, are you comfortable coming to my home? And she said, yes. I said, okay.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's about the challenges of being an interpreter at the Immigration and Refugee Board.
Oh, wow.
Because I was an interpreter for 10 years, French interpreter.
Okay.
So I said yes, because I know when you're doing research, some people don't want to do it, you
Hmm.
know. But I know I've been in her shoes when I was doing my thesis. I needed to do research. So I know I always participate if I can in research projects like that. And I'm going to be paid. It's just 1 hour, $50. And
Hmm.
that's not bad.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, but
So that's,
it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going
yeah.
because you're drawing that energy towards you.
Yeah. Mhm.
You're drawing that energy towards you. And it goes a lot, it goes all along with the session for today too, because you know, right, like in all times, like with everything that's going on, everything you're
Oh,
doing, you do it for the betterment of you because we don't depend on people in general. We depend on God, and if God's
yeah.
in control, then then the right people will come around us and they'll reach out
Yeah.
to us and they'll do pretty much what's in alignment with who we are, right?
Yes.
Because right now, if in terms of the vibrations that we're drawing towards us, right? It's we're drawing towards us positive vibration,
Yeah.
right? And if we're talking about vibrations, then we got to go on a macro level. Like we got to think micro and we got to think macro. So on a
Okay.
small level and then on a big level, right?
Yes.
So if we're thinking like that, then we understand that everything on this planet is made of atoms, right?
Hmm.
So everything on this planet, but not only this planet is made of atoms, everything in this universe is made of atoms. It's a bunch of atoms that are different the formulations make it different molecules, but it's all atoms, everything, right? Everything is energy, right? And that's electrons and protons, right? And electrons and protons are made up of vibration and frequency, right? So vibration and frequency is what makes them different, right? The vibration that they're on and the frequency that they're tuned in is what makes them different. It's what connects them with other things that are related to that frequency and vibration, right? And our brains are transmitters of frequency, and our receivers are frequency. So, like, what do you take from that?
Okay, you're saying that everything on the planet or on Earth is made of atoms.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
means everything, whether it's, like everything like books,
Yeah.
cars,
Yep.
anything you can think of.
This
And
computer,
then,
the
yeah,
computer that we're on right now.
yeah. And then also everything is energy. And we have two kinds of energy. We have positive energy and negative energy. When we talk about people having vibes, I have bad vibes about that person. It means there's something about that person you don't, it doesn't jive. And women are very intuitive. They have more intuition than a man. So if a woman says, don't do something, you better listen. As a matter of fact, and may I share a little story?
Please, please.
A former co-worker told me that her husband said that he's going out somewhere and he wants to take his nephew. And she said, please don't take your nephew. Go by yourself. He said, no, I want to take him. He said, I am begging you, don't take him. He said, no, I'm going to take him. She said, for the third time, I'm begging you, don't take your nephew. I'm feeling uncomfortable. He insisted. She said, go ahead. And guess what happened? They were involved in an accident and the nephew died on the spot. And he came home and told her, she said, I had warned you 3 times, you didn't listen. From that day, the man listens to his wife. If she says, don't do that or don't go there, he obeys. So that's what they call energy. She felt some kind of negative energy in the air. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's all about what you're tuned into, right? And that's why we want to tune ourselves into positive energy. Because if we tune ourselves into positive energy, then positive things come to us.
Yes.
So that's the vibration that we're on. That's the feeling that we want to continue.
Yeah.
Right. So positive things will come, right? And like you said, if it doesn't feel like that, you get to recognize more of that feeling that you're looking for. And if it doesn't feel like that, you have your antennas up. You're wondering, okay, hold on a second, right? Because it doesn't make me feel the same way, right? So be in tune with our transmitters. That's what it is. You're transmitting, right? You're transmitting energy, right? And as we transmit energy, it's about what we're connected with. So any person, if in their life they're seeing a lot of things that are like they're getting frustrated about, and they're frustrated when it happens, and they're frustrated and the next thing happens, they're frustrated of this thing and they're frustrated about that thing. That's why we got to pay attention to our feelings, right? Because if you're frustrated, do you want that feeling? Like the feeling of frustration, is that a feeling that you're going for? Right?
No, you don't want
exactly, right? So if we're now we're really tuned into our feelings and the vibration that we're on and the frequency that we're on, then we're being guided. We're being guided. You know, God's moving us because God is love. Amen. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're on the quest for, right? That vibration. So we tune into that vibration, that we're connected with the transmitters of that frequency, right? Because we have the ability to use our brain and create any frequency we want and transmit it, right? We look around the world, you see all kinds of transmitters of frequency, right?
Yeah.
So we see these happening. Like when you make a phone call, you know it's transmitting to a tower, then another phone, right? You know that's happening, right? So why it should be very easy to comprehend that we also are setting up frequencies and transmitting, because these are just signs of what we're doing because we see them physically, but with our brains and what we're doing, we're transmitting this frequency with the energy around us, the aura that we have. We're sending out frequency of transmission all the time. But the powerful thing with us as humans is our frequency can dissipate pretty much all throughout this whole entire world, right? So someone that lives in Italy or China, you could transmit your frequency and they'll pick it up right away, right? Like we transmit each other, but not only here, of course, it's even beyond that. But we're here, so we're talking from an earthly level. But our transmission of frequency is the most powerful thing. It's the most powerful thing. If you get in meditation, and inner meditation, you're channeling, and you're giving the energy and the frequency of what it is that you want. And you're just feeling, and that's the beautiful thing with meditation too, is that you get to concentrate on how you feel, right? Because you're still, your eyes are closed, you're outside and you're inside now. You're inside, and your mind wanders, right? Your mind will wander, because especially if you're just starting to meditate. At the beginning, your mind's going to be racing, right? So many things, right? Because there's so many things that are out there. But the key thing is to try to channel your thoughts, right? So most people say with meditation, you don't want to think of anything, right? And our meditations like that. But there's also meditations where you guide your mind, right? You take yourself to a place, right? You take yourself to a place, and then you're there. So you're kind of like in the physical. You're not really in the physical anymore. You are in a meditative state where you're there. You're in that place, and you're connecting with everything, right? And when you're in meditation and you're transmitting frequency, then you're really channeled in with that feeling, and you're channeling in to whoever it is that you need to connect with, right? And we're channeling each other. We're channeling each other. So just like right now, whoever's on this session right now, we channeled each other. There was that frequency that we called each other, and we're here, right? And if we can really tap in to our feeling, and we tap into how we feel, and we put that energy out there, then you're going to connect with everything that relates to how you feel, right? How and whatever the case of that may be, right? And then you just know that you're being guided. You're being guided. It's God that's guiding you, to feel love, to feel that good feeling. I think this is what something that we really gotta have an understanding, because we see these satellites, you see all kinds of transmitters, right? So who's to say that you're not a transmitter too? Like, it should not be something right on. You know what? That doesn't make no sense. It has to make sense. It has to make sense, right? And the transmission that we're emitting out there is the most powerful. It goes all throughout this whole space, right? So frequency levels that our brain are more powerful than all other transmitters. Our brain virtually transmits all over the globe and beyond, and matching frequencies are picked up by other brains. The same power is distributed regardless of the distance. Right? So what are your thoughts on that? Hilda and Priscilla, I see you joining us. Thank you. If you don't mind, what are your thoughts on that? If you could just expand on this, and what are your takes? Do you believe that we're transmitting?
I believe it helps when you're thinking it. If you're thinking positive, your brain allows you to be positive, which makes you live a positive life. I believe it, but sometimes it's hard to actually have the frequency believe yourself, if that makes sense.
Definitely, right? But we have these negative thoughts so that we can know what positive thoughts are. We have to train our mind, right? When you know what you don't want, then you know what you do want. That's a law of polarity, right? Because if you find yourself talking about what you don't want, then there has to be a polar opposite. And you got to be more talking about that, right? And then when you really catch yourself talking about what you don't want, then you're like, no, I want this. Not what you don't want, what you do want, right? And you just keep find out what the opposite of that is, and give the polar opposite in a positive vibration, right? That you do want. Because there's always a polar opposite, regardless of what it is. Right? And then just keep bringing your mindset there, keep bringing your mindset there, and give that energy and transmit that frequency. Right? And then whenever it goes back again, and you bring it back again, and it goes back again, and you bring it back again. And that's why we have the map book, right? And the map book, it's programming your mind to think like that all the time, right? Because that's the thing, we're going to have that back and forth. But if you could have it in your map book and you're reciting it every day, then you really believe it. You really believe it. And the reason why you really believe it too is because you're going to be witnessing things happening that are in alignment with you feeling good. And that's pretty much, what it is, right? Thank you for sharing, Chris. So our energy levels are determined upon what we tune into. As we operate through the physical world, we will encounter many things looking to match our vibratory state. Although it is us who will determine which energy state we would like to be in. Everything is. We determine how we would like to react to it, right? So life is a collection of experiences. It's experience after experience after experience after experience after experience. Little, small experiences, big experiences, medium experiences. This GPS is an experience. Whatever you do after this is experience. Experience after experience, experience, right? And everything is, right? So we determine how we would like to react to it. So, when you say, yeah, sometimes it's difficult, definitely. But as we're unlocking our mind and we understand that we're transmitting this frequency that's out there, whether we realize it or not, that's what's happening. We're transmitting frequency out in the world all the time by what we're thinking about, how we're thinking, right? And as we operate through the physical world, we're going to encounter many things looking to match our vibratory state, right? That's why, if you have a certain car, if you're driving, you're going to, and someone else is driving the same car, you're going to see every single one you're going to notice because you're driving that car. That's a frequency that you're on, right? And that's the same thing with everything in a sense, right? So when you're tuned in to a certain way of thinking, and where your thoughts are carrying you, sometimes realize that you're transmitting that out for it to come back.
May I share something?
Yes, please.
Yes, Steve, I don't know whether you know this, but one day Steve and I were going out for dinner. He came to pick me up. It's the same car that I have. Same make, same model, same year. That's really scary, isn't it?
It's not scary. It's just, and that's a beautiful thing too, because God gives us frequent signs of alignment. Right? And if we pay attention, then we see them. Well, that's the third eye. That's the pineal gland, right? That's just having that open mind, and you connect. Oh wow, okay, I'm in alignment. This is the right way to go. This is what I'm. Like where I'm doing. I'm supposed to be doing this, or you know what I'm saying. So that's what it is. We transmit that frequency. We connect. And then as we're navigating, we just get these things. Oh wow, boom! It just matches. It's tuned in the frequency. Right? Thanks for sharing. Right? Because that's a law of polarity. Right? The law of polarity, for everything there is an opposite which is equal. Everything is dual. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The evidence of this principle is observed in the polarity of planets and the various celestial bodies that include our Earth, solar system, and galaxy. Without the law of polarity, light, gravity, and electricity would not be possible. On the mental plane, this principle manifests itself in the heart center of each person as the enlightened or the dark mind. The principle of polarity makes possible the choices we make on the scale of life between good and evil, right and wrong, generosity and greed, love and fear, truth and lies. The law of cause and effect is closely connected to polarity and holds us true to the choices and actions we make by returning us to what we have measured out to others. Like the swing of a pendulum, it always returns where it began. Do unto others as you would have them to you. This principle establishes the paradox or dual aspect of reality. Everything that is has its double, positive and negative, light and darkness, hot and cold, love and fear, morality and immorality. All are two extremes of the same pole. That's from the book Flowing with Universal Laws by Margot Kiddeker. What are your thoughts on
something? May I add to something?
Yeah.
They talk about the law of gravity. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. It's in physics. So is it close to the law of polarity?
It's most definitely.
Okay.
Right? The laws they're correlated because it's existence. You get what I'm saying? Like everything's intertwined because it's existence, right? So if there's laws in play, then it's kind of like you're flowing along the stream, right? Because you're in alignment with the laws, right? And just having the awareness and understanding them, it just it helps you navigate better. So if we know there's, everything is, and now you're more critical with your thinking now. So anytime something happens now, and it feels like it's a negative, ask yourself, how is this positive? And sit with it, because the law of polarity states that everything has its opposite. So how is this positive, right? And even if you don't know and you can't even figure out how, the law of polarity shows that you should see it as positive, because something down the road may happen that correlates to it. You may not even know now. You may know a year from now why that happened, right? Or or in case maybe, say for example, you're driving and you get a flat tire. You can be like, oh man, I got a flat tire. I'm late for this party. I'm late for this, whatever. But maybe that flat tire saved your life.
Can I just laugh? Because I got a flat tire yesterday. Just saying.
Wow, you see that? That's what I'm saying? And talk about alignment too, Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like we're connected like that. Like that's really what's going on. And we just tune in. We keep sending good vibrations, good energy to each other and into the world. Feel like you're depositing good energy out there, right? And by depositing everything that you do as you're in these experiences, right? The person that you see, let's say you go by and you see someone has like a nice purse on or whatever, and you like it, that's a nice purse, or whatever the case may be. Even if they have a hairdo, they put time in their hair to do their hair. Oh, nice hair, right? And just give a compliment to someone. You just put out some love energy into the world, and then that's just going to keep transferring. It's going to go to that person. That person's going to transfer it to the next person. It's going to get transferred, and not just to the next person, maybe to the work they're doing, whatever, because they're on that frequency, right? They're sending good energy. That person maybe works at an immigration office, right? And the immigration office, because they got that compliment, and the next person who called them, or the next application that they read, they're in such good vibes that boom, they approved it. And the other person from another country was feeling good, and they had good energy, and they connected with that energy. They got the approval, right? And then they went in, and then they came over to the country and then, they became the next billionaire. I don't know. I'm just saying that's how the energy is just transferring. Right? So anytime anything happened, think about, okay, how was this good? Right? And then oh wow, I'm so grateful that happened because I was able to do this and I was able to do that, and who knows, maybe and I know this happened to me one time when I had a flat. When I came, I noticed that one side of the tire was like really stripped, right? So it's like it's better that it got flat because that tire was about to go, But you know what I'm saying, and you find out after, it's like, oh, that's blessed, right? Right. So it's like,
can I say something?
Yeah.
of course.
I was just gonna say, because I was trying to think of how that situation was good yesterday, but then I thought of it downloaded. It was good because I was right by my house. Okay, that's first and foremost. The day before that, I had gone downtown. Okay,
oh, wow.
So I could have easily blew my tire on the highway. Something else could have happened.
Wow.
And
it was downtown. The toll,
right.
You have to do all kinds of stuff.
Trust me. And I already had gone detour and everything downtown because the GPS kept twirling me around. And just imagine me being stuck. I'm by myself downtown. So that's so that's one thing. And then I started thinking, oh my gosh, well, I was close to my house. Plus, there is a In-N-Out place right here by my condo that does tires and like does oils change and all that stuff. And so I was like, I spoke to Gio and I was like, oh, like, baby, should I drive? He's like, oh, you don't drive on that. But man, I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I know I'm not supposed to drive on this, but God's he's gonna take me there. So I just took my time. I said, God, please don't bend my rim, because I don't want to get a whole new rim. Right? That was the whole problem. And so when I got there, whatever, they're like, I don't know. My tire was eat up. I don't even know what happened, when it happened, how it happened. It just happened. But I was just annoyed because this has been like my fourth at least tire change and the year is not done. So I'm like, okay, what is happening? So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into getting proper high top-notch tires. I don't know, something that just won't bust, because yeah, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm going to go to the government and reclaim my money.
But yeah, so thanks for sharing that. And even with that too, and that's what I'm saying, when we're thinking, it's so important that we think. I know, like when you're saying, oh, don't bend my tire, even though I know it's like a thing where you really want the thing to go, and I get it, right? But try to even say, oh, my tires are going to be perfectly fine the whole way through. It's the same thing that you're saying. It's just how you're wording it. It's how you're wording it, right? My tires are gonna, my wheels are gonna stay straight the whole way till I get to the mechanic thing, Instead of, oh, please don't bend my tire. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're saying bend my tire, right? But just try to bring it in where you're saying it in the affirmative.
So, can I add? So first I was like, because that energy was transmitted to me, right? The whole don't bend it. So that went into my head. Yeah. But truly and deeply, why I started driving was because I believed I was gonna make it. Yeah, I was gonna make it, and no matter what, I was gonna make it. So that's where the plot twist right there,
I thank you for saying that energy, that's what came to you at first, and then you overcame that. And that's what we're talking about earlier. Even when Priscilla was saying that it's difficult because those thoughts are always going to come, right? And our job is to fine-tune ourselves to overpower them all the time, right? Because you're going to be put in situations that those thoughts are they're begging to take you over. But you understand that you're God body and you're right, and God's looking after you all the time. So you know that you're being taken care of. And just with that understanding, all of these illusions trying to tell you that you're not, you overcome them. And then your faith goes more, and we're growing, we're connecting with God more. That's what we're doing. You know, everyone's journey in life. That's what we're doing. We're all on that zigzag zig where we're trying to connect with God. We're trying to connect with Source, you know, as much as we can. And the more faith we have, the closer we are, because that's pretty much what we're living on, right? We're the unseen is faith or fear. Is faith or fear, right? Polarity. We're going back to polarity, faith or fear, right? So we lead with faith, and we know, you know, everything's blessed. Everything's you know, going in the direction that we want it to go in, regardless of what the circumstances are showing. We know this is what it is, and we're going to keep giving that energy and moving towards that by having that in our mind as much as often, by conditioning our minds, realizing, you know, when our mind's off track and bringing it back on track, right? Meditation, right? If we're not, like, that's something that we, like, many people don't do, and it's like it's the most powerful thing, and I feel it's the most powerful thing, because regardless, if your whole physical is chaotic, and again you get in a chaotic sense, go and find a quiet place, a place where you're comfortable, right? And meditate. And just meditate. And then when you meditate, like the process that I go through is, first, when I'm in my first I focus on being relaxed. Like I'll do some nice breathing, you know, and just be relaxed. And then I'll take my mind to all of the good things that have happened, you know, in my life, you know, all of the good things that have happened, all the blessings, pretty much everything. I'm having direct conversation with God and saying, thank you. You know, thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for, you know, for the people who joined the GPS session. Thank you for, you know, everything. Whatever I'm involved with, whatever is going on, like I'm just going through those things. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for everything. Thank you for life. Thank you for my family. Thank you for you know, thank you for everything. Like whatever. Thank you. And I just think of stuff. If I can't think of anything at the moment, I just go back to the small things. Oh, thank you. Thank you I could walk. Thank you I can, you know, and then just go over everything that's thankful for. You know, the recent client that I got, the speaking engagement, this, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for, you know, the call that I was on and it was so promising. Thank you for this and that and that. Like, are you paying attention to the blessings that God's given you? If you, like, go in your mind and just go over that for as long as you can, until you feel really good, right? Because that part, we're really focusing on the feeling, you know, of the blessings that we're having, and we're conscious, and we're going over and over and over and over it, like nonstop. And then from when you're in that vibe, right? Then, you know, because you're thankful for everything that God has given you, then you ask. Then you put out more, have more requests, because, you know, you're acknowledging Most High, you're acknowledging God, and that's what I'm saying. You're thanking God. It's just like with any of us. If someone was to do something for us, right, and the person you do it for says thank you, you know, that means so much. It's just something that you're just, because you recognize it. Kathy's not on here, but she shared that, you know, she did some function for someone, and, you know, it, like, after, it was her daughter-in-law, and after the thing, like, she did so much, and then after it was done, she didn't even say thank you, you know. And, you know, that touched me, because it's like, I know it's such a simple thing to do, and yet we don't do it, right? And imagine how with God, when God does stuff for us, you know, we have to give thanks, right? So in the meditation, that's what we're doing. We're giving thanks. So after that, let's continue to ask for more, because we want to be more thankful. We want more of that. That's the vibration that we're on. That's the frequency that we're on. So we continue to ask. Because when we're going on emotional guidance skill, right, we want to move ourselves up to here, to the top of the scale. And wherever we are, when you're in meditation and you're thanking God for this, thank you, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you could pinpoint everything you're thankful for, and you're going in and you're just thinking about the things that happened to you, recently, or even when you're a child, like things growing up, like, all these things, people are in your life, like whatever, and you're just going there thankful, and you're thankful for that, and you're just giving thanks. You're you're raising yourself up this emotional guiding skill by doing that in the meditation, and you're bringing yourself up here, right? And ask, because this is the feeling that we want to be at. This is the vibration that we're tuning into. Remember, we're talking about the satellites. These are the satellites. That's the frequency that we're tuning into. But we get to that frequency, when we're on that frequency, ask what it is that you want, because when you're in that feeling, that's the feeling that's what's connecting with what you want, right? But you got to recognize that feeling, though. So that's why meditation, I feel, is like the most powerful thing, because if you're in this conscious state, right, and you're out here, you're gonna get those feelings for sure. But you know what? You're not really in control of bringing them, because you have to go through the experience to get that feeling. But when you're in meditation, you can feel that feeling as if it was just yesterday. It was happening right now, in a sense. You can recall the feeling and go into that space where you just feel how you felt at that time. And while you're in that feeling, then you go in and make your request. Make your request. What is it? What do you want now? What is it that you want now? Because that's the feeling that you are. And we are living in the now. Everything is now. Everything is now. So all those past experiences, those are part of you now. Right? And this is the ultimate objective, for us to feel good now, at every moment of time. We are at a different emotional level. It is not realistic that we're going to be the happiest person 24/7. Right? Throughout life, we will go through waves of emotions. The best thing we can do is be in the affirmative as much as we can through those waves over time, with continual programming. By law, more positive will come towards us. There are different levels of emotion. Our goal is to work our way up step by step. So this is what the map book is doing. This is why the map book is something that you use every day. This is the foundational principle for us to feel good now, right now. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, guys? Let me know how you're feeling right now. Christoph has joined us. Christoph, how are you feeling?
Well, overwhelmed, but well.
As Christoph says it, as Christoph says it, as Christoph says it, we're not feeling good, we're feeling great. Christoph, talk to him. I gotta update this. Christoph, man, come on, man, talk to him.
Yeah, no, definitely vibration. Our minds and our words are connected. One thing I always say, try to remove the word good from your vocabulary, just because good has lost its meaning, right? So when people are having great days, they'll say, you ask them how they're doing, you'll say good. And vice versa. If you're having a horrible day and someone asks you how you're doing, you'll say good. And, I think it's better that if you're feeling bad or down, it's better you articulate yourself, so that way people could support you in that moment. And vice versa. If you're feeling, exceptional, you want to raise yourself up to that level, right? A lot of times as well, too, we don't realize that living in a first world country, we have first world problems. And, if we were really to look at our problems in comparison to, I guess the world, we really start to look at our problems as great problems. have, because there's people in the world who have atrocious problems, and they are categorizing it as the same way you ask them, they probably say that they're good, right? Considering, right? So we definitely want to, like Rich mentioned, we want to recognize God's blessings, be appreciative of some of the problems that we have, because it could be 10 times worse. And we're always going to have some type of challenges that, ultimately help to shape us and to help us to grow. Challenges are meant for us to grow, to strengthen us, to allow us to see what we have in our tool bag. And so definitely it's just about, elevating our mindset to get to great consistently.
That's amazing. Anyone else? Anyone else?
May I share something, Richard? I want to share something about the flat tire. There was a lady who came out from church, and shortly after, she had a flat tire. A young man from church stopped and helped her, and she said, "Thank God for that flat tire." Now they are husband and wife, and they have 2 children. So you see, the negative turned into a positive.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So depend on God, not people, right? Have you ever been let down by someone?
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody has. If you haven't, then you're not human. You're not living on this earth.
Exactly. And a lot of times when that happens too, it could bring us down that emotional guidance skill, right? You could feel one of those, those feelings, anger, like discouragement, right? Like you're low on the vibration skill, right? But depend on God, right? And when you depend on God, then if someone was to in a sense let you down, you're looking at the law of polarity. You're looking at it as a blessing. Oh wow, okay, like there has to be good. It has to be good to it, because that's the frequency. There must be good to this. Must be a reason, right? And we depend on God, so we know that God is navigating us properly. We're in good guidance, so it must be good for us. It has to be, right? Know who you are and be thankful, right? So knowing who you are is something that we're going to get an understanding of. But who are you, right? We have a name, like, right? Francisca is here. We have Hilda. We have Priscilla. But that's your name. That's your name. That's how we address you when we recognize you. But that being who you are is who you are, right? And we're getting to know that person. And you should also get to know that person as well, right? And for you to know who you are, you got to go inside. You got to go inside, and as frequent as possible. That's what the map book is doing for us. It's making us go inside and discovering who we are, right? And meditation, you're going inside, right? And when you're tapping in like that, you're tapping in with the source. You're tapping in with your essence, and that's what you want to express out in the world, because that's who you are, right? So don't get too down when people let you down, right? And it's important to choose what you absorb. What are you listening to? What are you watching? Right? What are you tuning into? Like, what frequency are you tuning into? Are you watching news all day? The interesting thing is most businesses, like, they have this CP24 on. A few years ago, like I would say, 10 plus years ago, Change Motion and Marketing are me and my partners, my bro and next guy Tristan. We went pretty much to every business in the GTA storefront. walked in, went every single business to push our marketing services. And at that time, everyone was setting up their TVs and everyone had on CP24. Imagine going inside a business to business, business to business, business to business, and everyone has on CP24. It's like, holy, it's like a programming that's going on. I was like, yo, this is serious. And you notice it because you're going in one business to the next one. And they all have TVs. And even now, it's like that now. It still is like that. Go inside any business place, operation, whether it's a doctor, a dentist, a gym, whatever. Like, you go anywhere and they're gonna have CP24 on. Yeah, Hilda says her workplace is so depressing. Right? The thing, and that's what I'm saying, because that's bringing you down the emotional guidance skill. Even though a lot of the stuff is not personally happening to you, but it's the frequency that you're channeling in. And you're channeling in that frequency, and it's bringing you down this emotional guidance skill. Right? Because the images you're seeing, the stuff that you're hearing, and all this, and then everyone starts talking about it and all this stuff. Right? It's trying to bring the frequency down. That's why it's very important, what you choose, what you absorb, what you're listening to, what you're tuned into. And now we live in a world where we actually do have demand. We have choice of what to put on. Like, if you're watching TV, you could go and select something to watch. Like, and before it was these just channels, you're flipping through the channels, right? You could go on the internet, you could go absorb something. You're on your phone, you could choose what you're listening to. You could choose what you're following, right? I followed some Brampton thing, I don't know, some Brampton whatever thing, and I'm starting seeing them, looking at it, they're talking, oh yeah, I know Brampton drivers can't drive, but still it's showing accidents, and it's showing like this different stuff, and I'm like, yo, what? Unfollow, like I'm not gonna absorb that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll choose what to absorb. Go ahead.
Because Brampton people can't drive.
I know, I know, it's true still. It's unfortunate, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. I just had to say that.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like, unfollow. You have the choice. You could choose, but you're it's definitely gonna seem like a battle, because you're going through the trenches and you're going through, and all these things are popping up, and it's like, yo, you're ignoring this, you're ignoring that, you're turning this off, you're trying to change the subject on this conversation and doing that. Like, so you're on guard all the time, but you gotta protect your mind, protect your energy, right? Bring yourself as high up on this emotional guidance skill, so that you're on that frequency and you're drawn towards you things that are on that frequency, right? Right. So I know there's thousands of channels in our consciousness. It's up to us to choose the channel. Right. So empower yourself. There's books, seminars, webinars, podcasts, motivational quotes, or even tips and whatever the case may be. There's many things that you could tune into for what you want, right? And it will move you up on this emotional guidance skill, right? Like, everyone that's on the GPS session, that's the the frequency. We want to move up the skill. So the kind of energy that we want to bring in is bringing us up here, right? And with the map book as well, so law of increase enables you to be lifted up and unconsciously touch the law of increase and gain from its blessings. What you have created unconsciously or accidentally can be stimulated to increase. Increase can be obtained through praise. The act of praise alone can move mountains. This law is connected to the law of praise. Praise is a complementary to faith. Where faith is wisdom and understanding, praise is the application of that understanding. Faith is the boiler that holds the substance of power, whereas praise is the fuel that generates that power into active force. Faith without praise is like a cold boiler, an inherent mass of machinery. It may be nice to look at or talk about, but it has no more value than a conversation. Peace. Praise is a stimulant of the mind. It magnetizes all good things around you. It transforms that good into usable, visible substances. A prime biblical example of this is a story when Jesus, when he had some of 5,000 hungry souls to feed. He had 5 loaves of bread and few fishes. Yet he had started action by praising the little at hand. You know the story. Jesus said that what he did, we could do also. How can it be done? When you learn to take what you have and build on it, not in scorn and condemnation, but with praise and gratitude. You are working the law, and the universe will give increase, abundance. Work with praise and faith, and you will benefit from the law of increase. That's from the same book, Law, the Universal Laws by Margot Whittaker. I don't know, what do you guys take from that? Priscilla, what do you take from that?
The need to be more grateful.
Proper. Mylin?
Being grateful is
Oh, go ahead,
needed.
Chris. Go ahead. For Priscilla, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just putting my daughter to bed. I'm listening, but being grateful is, I think, an emotion that people don't like, is not learned, but needs to be taught to people. So the law of increase of being grateful, I think, needs to be something that is taught to a lot of people, especially that are still learning about frequency.
Thank you. Francisca, you're unmuted. You have something to say? Okay. But yeah, it's gratitude. The gratitude part is so important, right? And we have to, really think in law of polarity and just be grateful for everything that we have and everything that's to come. And just be in a state of gratitude and send that frequency out in the world, and just attach yourself with that as you're going to attach yourself with that. So that's why the affirmatory declaration in the map book is designed to put you in a positive vibration. And written in it is all you desire with your heart, right? Everything you're writing in your affirmatory declaration is coming from inside of your heart. I'm grateful and thank God for whatever it is that you want in your life. Right? Although the MAP program requests for you to read your affirmatory declaration along with the rest of the book 2 times a day, your affirmatory declaration is there for you to read as frequent as possible, especially to get your spirit up. Right? If you're in a thing, say you're going for a new job interview, whatever, just read your affirmatory declaration before you go in for the interview. Because you're bringing yourself up that emotional guidance still. You're getting yourself on that frequency, on that vibration. Right? You're about to go in a meeting, you're about to go even start work or whatever the case may be. Start, like whatever it is, just read your affirmatory declaration before and then go out and do that. Do what you're doing. Again, use it as a little boost. Right? It's something, if something is conflicting with your emotions and what to remedy your discomfort, write it in your affirmatory declaration in present tense. What is the polar opposite of what this discomfort is, right? So if you feel you're always being let down by people, you could put, I'm grateful and thank God that I am valued in every relationship I encounter, right? So that people value you. You're going to be on the frequency of people who value you. right? And you have that in your affirmatory declaration, you're reading that every day. That's in your subconscious mind. That's what you're tuning into. That's the transmission that you're putting out there and what's returning to you, right? Reading this frequently will transmit to people who only value you and if not, you will be aware in advance if they're not valuing you. Like, no, this is not in alignment with who I am, right? This person's not, doesn't value me. So I get that I'm not on the same frequency, and right away. And you'll be connected with people who do value you, right? So that's pretty much the main thing for today. A session is more to really don't depend on people, depend on God, because God's carrying us all the way, right? And we want God to send people to us, in a sense. You know what I mean? We want those people sent to us because those are the people that are on our frequency. Those are the people that are assisting us to grow, to be the being that you're going to become, right? And and just just keep that in mind, and keep in mind the guiding skill and moving yourself up. What are you tuning into? How as you're out there, are you looking at everything as it is and seeing the positive, right? Bringing yourself, are you going inside yourself, right? It's like the most important thing, especially when things are chaotic and outside, and it happens all the time. So it's just about knowing, okay, I gotta go meditate, right? I gotta go in my map book, I gotta, if it's Bible, and that's what gives it to you. Okay, I'm gonna go meditate on the Bible or whatever the case may be. But go inside yourself to really tap in, and just go back to the feeling and the guidance that's going to bring you up the emotional guidance skill, and you're bringing yourself up on that frequency, right? Tune into that channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if anyone has any final words before we sign off.
Why don't you finish off on a prayer, brother, based off fact that we're speaking about God and
Yeah,
Sunday.
That's blessed. That's blessed. Right. Dear God, we thank you as we're here on this GPS session, Lord, and as we're on this session, we're here to tap in and connect and get closer to you and closer with you. Lord, we thank you that you're using us as your hands and feet, navigating in this world and sending love into this world. So we thank you as we continue to grow our network. We continue to get people onto the MapBook program and for our community to grow. So the energy that we're emitting and the frequency and the transmission that we're putting out in this world is massive. Lord, thank you for all your blessings. We thank you for everything that you do for us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Brother.
Thank you. All right.
Amen.
Have a good week. God bless.
Have a good week, everyone.
Have a
Thank you.
good week.
Bye-bye.
Have an excellent week, everyone.
Bye.
You too.